Yo, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video with your host Kenkukun, and today we got another Destiny 2 Trials training video. Now in this video we're going to cover the tips for the weekend for the map Twilight Gap. We haven't seen this map in the Trials rotation since it's come out to the game. It's one of those anomalous like maps, just like Anomaly, you seen it once, Widow's Court, you seen it once, and then you didn't see it again for like 2 years, and now we have Twilight Gap for the first time in its in its existence in Destiny 2. So now we gotta wonder, when's it gonna come back, and how much, knowledge are we gonna need on this map before Destiny 3 actually comes out, to be honest. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and cover the this timestamp is gonna cover how to open rounds, or your options for opening rounds. So let's say you spawn up on this side and you want to go, everyone go to the left, or you want to go to the left. All right, I seen some decent snipers I played against, and they were able to go off in angles, right? I had a dude just crouching here with a sniper and looking up, right? And I came from the side, and I surprised him because he took the shot, missed, and then like shade stepped, and then it was a cluster of killing him, or him killing me. So you can play this side, right? If the enemy's being aggressive, you might be able to come over here and maybe get some shots as they're coming down. You are at the low ground. If anyone were to jump past to the right, that's probably when you have to focus your attention like this, because if a second guy shows up here and the first guy doesn't get stopped and he decides to stop here and shoot at you, or here, or just push down and come kill you, you're probably not gonna have a lot of cover, because now if you push forward, you're just constantly pushing yourself into like one spot of cover, depending on the class you are. So you got to keep that in mind. With that being said, you can come play B. You can also go underneath and disrupt the radar. Gemini Jesters, I heard, were pretty good on this map. I haven't tried them myself, but any maps where it has multiple floors, right, this would be like ground floor, and that would be like floor 1 is up here. Anytime you can get Gemini, and there's a lot of underground too, Geminis could be really good at disorienting the enemy and just confusing them and making them very very panicky, I would say. Now some teams are going to be rock solid and they're not going to worry about it. So you have the option of coming to B. It's straightforward, guys. Coming out, I don't have like really rock solid plans, or you pull off this Super Bowl play and you're gonna take the W for the round. That's I don't have that this weekend. Like this is one of those weird maps. You're gonna see a lot of fusion and chaperones. Let me put that out there. So you could come up here and just fight over the middle. I would say this is probably one of the most important parts of the map, is this area. This is where overtime used to be, and now heavy's down here. Right, heavy spawns down here. A lot of the fights are you're gonna have enemies, or your team is gonna be around this area. Now, the enemy can hold the spawn and whatnot, but you have your options. So you can come up here, right? If you come up here, I've had plenty of people challenge me from down low. I've had plenty of people challenge me from across. I've had people like try and jump shoot me, right? In fact, if there's nobody over here or at B, there's an enemy could possibly stand on that railing and have a good clean shot at someone from here, now that I'm jumping, because I can see the railing when I'm jumping. So just this little hop, I could be dead, right? So just keep that in mind. They wouldn't even need to be on that railing, but to be on that railing would give them just a little bit, like maybe I'm jumping like, oh, I'm just hopping around because I have no reason to hop around, and then I just get sniped in the head from a dude way back there that I'm not paying attention to, right? So angles to be wary of, down there, over there, right? You can challenge over here from a little farther back, and the bottom can't shoot you. And also, people have been jumping up on top of this too, so you got to be careful with that. Just people with balls of steel just jumping right up on that top middle ledge. All right, and then coming out of the spawn, you can go to the right. Now you can go to the right and through party room right here, and come up to elevator shaft, right, the other party room, or stairs, or anything like that. And again, this is where chaperones and fusions are gonna really shine bright. And if you run across a good team of them, that's gonna be a problem. I guess a quick counter to this, and I'll cover points of interest in the middle in a second. Quick counters would be like lightning grenades or spike grenades from the hunter. skip grenades, any grenade to kind of push them back and make them move. Arc bolts, right, on top tree storms with arc web, stuff like that. Anything to really make people move back. Now, a lot of the times, enemies aren't really gonna play the outside, and you're probably not gonna play the outside by the guns often, right? So the only reason to really play this side is probably to rotate. You're gonna make a big rotation from this spawn, especially. You're looking to make a rotation, right? So the only way you play down here, I would say, is if the enemy is really pushing into this room first somehow, right? And they're able to get here before you can get here, before you can get eyes on this room or get, you know, out of that doorway to here. I would say that's probably when you want to maybe put someone in this lane to look for an easy pick, or you're trying to flank or something like that. But there's a lot of times where you're not going to be down this lane at all. So it is an option. It's just, there's not a, you know, it's just odd. It's just odd. So anyway, now let's cover some points of interest. Now I've had people with, you know, long range with scouts, snipers, and hand cannons, right, from back here. This is a good spot. If people like to play that B side, right, you put a guy in this lane. As long as they don't miss the head, pow, they can also see all the way down to that other spot I was talking about earlier, right? I've had snipers challenge from here once again. Now, Bungie decided to put this little thing here. I think this is new. You can step up on it, but you just got to take that extra second to get there. For me this weekend, any snipers that decided to snipe and would take these, you know, normal snipe lanes from D1, they were there first. And all I did was jump up late and get blasted away. So if you're not really quick, you might want to just avoid those lanes altogether. Another way to challenge is you would hop right here, right? And at this point in time, someone could potentially see you on the other side. So, you know, be careful. But you can hop like this. You can hop on this box and then jump, right? And now you're up here. Oh, and with a hand cannon will reach across here, right? Hit those headshots. You're going to get it. Other angles, we already covered, you know, this angle, be careful of down low. If I haven't covered this angle, be careful down low, right? The closer you are to the ledge, the more team shots you can, the more team shots that can be happening on you. That means the enemy's going to be, you know, one down here, two up here, one up here, two down here. So keep that in mind. People have been bold enough to jump up on this railing right there, like on the middle. So you got to keep that in mind. And then, it's not as viable to jump on these boxes because, you know, Bungie put this cloth here. So as you strafe, you're like I'm boom slipping off. It's, you know, I'm not like staying at the same height level as I strafe back and forth. Some people have used this area though to try and get shots as well. So keep that in mind. You know, just the normal things, right? Just normal things. I've seen some people try to jump up here and use this as like a little glitch spot. It kind of pushes me down, so just keep in mind that you could see some weird stuff this weekend that Bungie still hasn't fixed yet. Dawn Blades have gone out here to snipe. Plenty of people have, you know, tried to challenge from down here and snipe, but let's go ahead and transition onto the other side of the map for the next timestamp, and we'll cover, you know, possible options to opening. Now, the openings on any map are probably going to be straightforward. You know, I'll give a little bit of tips here and there as we go through. So first, we'll just start with the openings, and then I'll give you some ideas of where you might want to stand, what I've seen, and the problems I've come across. So, starting up, you spawn, you know, relatively back where I was. You could just run right through here, right up the stairs to party room, and, you know, get in here. Again, fusions are going to be good. Chaperones are going to be good. Grenades to push them out of the room, right? Like lightning grenades, spike grenades on that wall. It's going to be really good if anyone's in this room. As you come out this room, you got to be aware of that, right? So you got to be aware of that angle. Also, you know, lightning grenades and spike grenade skips and stuff like that in case they're in the, you know, other party room, right? Number 5 room. And I believe this is party room, actually. This is like that's party room for sure. This is just elevator shaft, stair room. I may have to come out with a call out video for this. But right now it says upstairs under my radar. You can get grenades in that room too. And then as you come out, if you're looking here, you got to be careful of down left. Someone could be behind this gun and shoot you. Again, angles. I say this a lot, right? Someone could be down here shooting at you. I say this a lot. You cannot stand in a location where you can be shot from 2 separate angles that you cannot physically look at, right? So if I'm standing here right? Technically, I can, if I'm aiming down my sights, I can see in front of me. If I'm not, I can see in front of me and this doorway. So I would know someone's shooting from here if they walk up on my screen, right? With my FOV. So there's, when you're looking for enemies and you're not sure where everyone is, and you know you're reading the radar, hey, there's someone back there, right? You cannot say, oh well, it's just a small line on my radar, let me just ignore them and look over here, because they could come down at any moment and kill you. So you got to be aware of where you're at. I've had people try and jump up and down the elevator shaft to shoot me, so keep that in mind. Usually a shotgunner. So yeah, you know, and that's how you would push from there. Let's go ahead and come back here, and we're gonna go ahead. You're pushing down the middle. Again, the snipers on the enemy team. Be careful. If you jump here, you're gonna get shot. If you know, come down this lane, right? You make a safer approach. There could be people here ready to shoot you. You peek over here, and there could be someone down there. So, you know, you're kind of, as you're pushing, don't be afraid to push. Like, let's say, and we'll cover it in a moment. I'll put it in different timestamps. So that's one way to push through the, you know, the center of the map. You can also push from down low, right? Right about here is when you're going to start seeing people up top on either side. So, and then at that point in time, you know, again, you don't have to hold this area, but I would say this area gives you, you know, the most benefit. Once you get into this area, though, just keep in mind that shotguns and fusions are going to be at their prime. So if you're not running shotguns and fusions, you're running snipers, and you're not, you know, an amazing sniper, you may have a tough time holding that area with just your primary. And then coming out of the spawn, you can come all the way down here and to the right. Now you can hop, you can jump, you can blink, double jump, jetpack, whatever. You can come over to B, and same thing from here. You know, you can challenge up top down here. You can be ready for someone to challenge from the side, from either side, to be honest. So, and coming to B is straightforward, and then you can get grenades from way back here to over there. Skips, lightning grenades, spike nades, right? Throw them up at that wall, and that's going to hopefully push them away from the crate. Now, let's say, let me go back to the middle and talk about the shotguns and fusions. So by this time, by the time you get up here, you're gonna, again, if you're not rocking a shotgun or a fusion, you're gonna see a lot of shotguns and a lot of fusions, you know, just in the limelight this weekend. So when you're using your primary, you got to make sure you have plenty of space. If you're back here and a teammate's over here, I seen this just yesterday. Some person was standing here on my team with a shotgun. Someone slid out the room, shotgun them, and then was able to, I think they shade step back or they shade step forward into the container, right? And within that span of a moment, I didn't have time to react. Like, I may have shot at them and missed, or shot them twice, but my teammate didn't put a bullet on them. They didn't punch them, didn't put a bullet on them. It happened so fast, they weren't ready for it. So be aware of where you're standing and be ready. You got to be ready for the enemies to push you. Other than that, there's not really much to say. Again, this is pretty straightforward. I hope that was the point I was going to come talk about, because I forgot what point I was going to talk about when when I was bringing up the timestamps. So moving on, now we're going to move on to the super timestamps. All melee supers are going to benefit by going inside somehow. If you're on this side, oh, and we're going to talk about this spawn. Actually, let's stop right there before I transition into supers. We're going to talk about this spawn. The spawn gives you a lot of room to breathe and play with, but at the same time it is very exposed to chaos reaches. So keep that in mind. You plan a chaos reach, you might want to consider not playing this area at all. But if you're not playing against chaos reaches, right, regular supers or other supers, there's a lot of options for ranged people. Back in the day, back in D1, I would actually hold this area with a Mida, right, or some kind of scout that would 3-tap. Now, you could probably do that today. If the enemy is highly aggressive, you can actually just, everyone can form up and sit back here, right? You can have someone right around here, and now their job, the person here, their job is to make sure nobody shoots from here to you, right? And, you know, they can cover this doorway. So, if there's one person there, they should be able to hold their own. If there's more than one, they would call it out. And now your attention can go from here to be like, okay, I'm looking down the hallway, or I'm looking at the, you know, far left ledge, right? And, you know, maybe try to get some team shots. So holding this spawn area can work. Now, again, it's all going to be dependent on how well your team can hold an area. So please be careful. if you're going to hold an area, to make sure you can hold the area. Moving on. The guy that, there would be someone else in the spawn with you, your third person, and they could be somewhere, they could be, I've seen people back here just chilling at the back of the map, like crouched, using the head glitch with a scout rifle or a sniper, waiting for someone to jump. And we'll talk about we'll talk a little bit more about snipers here in just a moment. I've seen people down low just hanging back, again, like just anywhere where they can get, a little bit of cover, right? This tree is not the greatest cover, but they're just, making it harder for the enemy team to see them, right? So you can hold back. It's just going to be very depending on what your team is capable of individually and together as a team. And then they could also push up here, and try to get some shots on people, right? Maybe they want to, be with a hand cannon and shoot at a dude here, and then the person at the rock can see back there and be like, oh, pow, 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 right? They get 1-2 shots in, and that's a team shot, and that's a dead body. And now everyone can rotate and focus. And remember, lightning grenades on that wall, spike grenades, skip grenades, right around there, maybe a little bit higher on the skips, so they actually, track to the person. It's gonna be really good. If you're playing against a bunch of hunters, skip grenades aren't gonna do you too much, so you might want to consider arc bolts, or really time your skip grenades on good timing, so you pull the shade step out of them at the perfect moment, right? Now moving forward. Oh yeah, snipers, real quick. I seen people, when there's a good sniper on the enemy team, this cannot be you, right? Let me put on a jetpack. You cannot be this person, because I did have to play with someone yesterday, and they weren't, we would have to remind them here and there about snipers. This can't be you flying all the way up into the sky to get fucking sniped. Like, don't let that be you, right? The safest way to do this, the safest way would be to use the stairs, to be honest. You would use the stairs and you would stay, out of the air, right? I had to tell them, like, hey, man, there's stairs in the map. You need to start using them. Yeah, it's going to take them longer to get anywhere, but it's there. Another way, you drop down and you hop up just as high as you need to, right? And even when you get up here, like, don't be like, like jumping high up in the sky. Again, if they have a good sniper on their team, there's probably a sniper at this railing just chilling, waiting for something to jump up. And it's like, oh, there they are. And then they kill you, right? So please be aware of how high you jump. Just because the enemy's not on the radar doesn't mean they don't exist in the map, all right? So that's really important. I was seeing people get sniped out the sky like that. I got sniped out the sky by hopping one too many times. Down here, again, you got to be careful of this angle. Now, if you have from this side of the map to team shot, a good team shot would be, if both of you are like, hey, we're going to look at this bottom archway, right? One from the left, one from the right, right? They're not even going to see two people at the same time if they're not looking, properly. And hopefully you get a good team shot on them. So anyway, I believe that's going to cover it for the tips. Again, pretty straightforward. Heavy spawns down here in case you didn't know. Titan shields are really good. You get a Titan shield here and then be ready for, grenades to your back. Like, back off a little bit, right? Let the grenades do their job and then come back through. On heavy round, plenty of people have tried to flank on heavy round specifically. So if you get this side of the map, I would say you have a little bit more of advantage. And they usually flank from up top. So from the other side of the map, you could send someone all the way to B, and from B, they could look from B. Now, if the Titan shield's placed properly, you're not going to be able to shoot them, but if the Titan shield's placed too far forward, you could get some damage on them to stop them from getting the heavy. You could try to come, all the way over here, but then you're exposed to up top and how many enemies are going to be looking at you, right? And of course, you're already on the radar. So keep that in mind. Gemini Jesters have been pretty good. For exotics, sticky grenade builds on Titans, right? If you're wearing that exotic armor piece that buffs everything else when you use an ability, drop a shield, throw a sticky grenade on an enemy, and move on about your day. Stuff like that. Anyway, I hope this helps. Again, this map has come around every once in a while. Maybe I'll have a part 2 to tips after today. I'm probably going to run a couple of stacked cards, and then I'm going to try to get some help cards in for sure. So let me know in the comment section below if you've seen anything that's been very prevalent this weekend that you've been having a tough time with, and I can go ahead and cover it in another video for others as well. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Good luck on the cards, and we'll see you at the lighthouse.